insatiable appetite. I had a misunderstanding today with relish on the side. I washed it down with some courage, but I just could not decide. Do I eat the fat-free plate of guilt or leave room for a grudge? I guess you probably didn't know that irony tastes like fudge. I've swallowed my pride, I've eaten my words, complete with mounds of disdain. Did you know that love and chaos taste pretty much the same? And if everything's topped with common sense, it's all a little bland. But the bitter drops of hatred are more than I can stand. I'd like to bake a special cake filled with happiness. Serve coffee-covered kisses with an upside-down apple wish. I'd like to buy the world a laugh and put it in their tea. Then open up an ice cream shop and name it after me. Shel Silverstein is my favorite poet of all time. Yours too? Excellent! And I wrote a little biography type poem about Shel when he passed away and that, but it's not nearly as fun as my ode to Shel Silverstein, which is when I was trying to write something that would be like a Shel Silverstein poem, you know, something just that cool. And I couldn't come anywhere near close, but it took actually using a microphone or a tape recorder to write this poem. It was so difficult. So I'm going to read it for you slowly so you can understand it, and then I'm going to read it in the way that it was intended to be read. I need a drink for this, though.
Me too.
Oh wait, you can't have this. This has coffee in it. I'll be getting you off the ceiling fan. So this is called Ode to Shel Silverstein. Who are you when you're with me? Are you the you you'd like to be? I'd like to be with you, you see, and be the me I'd like to be. And if we two, that's me and you, were the we wanted to, would we be happy instead of blue if I were me and you were you? But if I were you and you were me, oh, what chaos that would be. So you be you, and I'll be me, and all will wish that they were we.
Yay!
Music. And this is the way it was actually intended to be recited. Who are you when you're with me? Are you the you you'd like to be? I'd like to be with you, you see, and be the me I'd like to be. And if we two, that's me and you, we're the we wanted to. Would we be happy instead of blue if I were me and you were you? But if I were you and you were me, oh, what chaos that would be. So you be you and I'll be me, and all will wish that they were we. Life smacked me in the face while I was looking the other way. And he said I should be watching where I walked. I should be careful what I say and the silly games I play, because the ones who never listen always talk. I said he didn't make much sense and that I'd build myself a fence so he'd have to get himself out of my yard. He smiled and he laughed, and he said I was a blast. Then got serious and said, let's play some cards. There's the end. I thought it was a joke. I stuttered as I spoke, and I invited him to have a cup of tea. But I guess he was no joker, because he dealt a hand of poker, and he said the stakes were going to be me. If I win, the world is mine. There's no hunger and no crime, and I'll finally make a living with my words. But if I lose, then I won't write, and I'll never sleep at night. And whatever my pen bleeds will be absurd. When I looked at what he dealt, I couldn't hide the way I felt, because I figured he could never beat my straight. Life didn't bat an eye, but he sighed a peaceful sigh. And I wondered just how tight he was with fate. And then he said, well, it's been fun, but I'm afraid that you are done. And I said, you know, it does no good to bluff. He said, your life, you just don't understand. Your life cannot be planned. And to prove it, he laid down a royal flush. Then he smiled just a little and said that every life's a riddle, and the answer is to follow where it goes. Every road has many turns. It's not where they lead, but what you've learned. And when you succeed, it's only you who knows.
Yeah.
His eyes change with smiles and the hues of his clothes. And just why he loves me, I guess only he knows. His laugh is kinetic, throwing sparks in the air as he spins and he twists like the curls of his hair. My small superhero, he saves every day with a grin and a giggle and a moment of play. I savor the second he came into my world. He may not always get candy, but he does get the girl.
Yeah.
This is the poem that I wrote for my very, very good friend, Miss Winnie Lou. Winnie Lou is so worth clapping for. If you're not on Twitter, you may not realize this, but she is so worth clapping for. And I wrote this for her birthday. It's called Buttons, Dashes, and Clouds, which is kind of her mantra. Dunk clouds of hope in your coffee each day. Button yourself to your dreams. Dash off to your heart when your world goes astray and chaos unravels its seams. When it all starts to freeze and your life misses step, remember the words in your mind. The girl you can be is the woman you are, both existing at the same time.